That's a big...
They're beefier, aren't they?
Probably a big female Palodes, that. So, getting the impression they like it fast and deep. I was on the point of getting washed away. I just kind of worked.
Please don't, John, we need you.
Well, I just kind of let it take me down, sampling. And they're getting this nice confined tray.
In a way, it's kind of like a little buffet, isn't it? So
yeah,
they're happy.
Yeah. My finger here, this is Palodes mortoni, which is a larger, darker species with a broader head. So both seem to be here in quite good numbers today. So yeah.
Spring 20. There's a lot still to learn about the ecology of the species, but John's been involved in surveys for this species for a number of years now through Natural Resources Wales.
Yeah.
So they've funded work on Isogenus. So this is a bit of a continuation really through the Natur Ambith project.
Okay.
So that's a big Wales-wide threatened species project that National Lottery Heritage Fund are funding. So yeah, so we're really excited. So yeah, sure, yeah. So my name's Claire Dinham. I'm the Wales manager for Buglife Cymru.
And could you just talk about how Buglife are involved in this project and what the project is?
Yeah, sure. So Buglife is one of 10 organisations involved in a project called Natur Ambith. So that's made up of 9 NGOs and Natural Resources Wales. So we're all working together, and it's a Wales-wide project aims to protect our scarce and most threatened species.
So what are we doing here today?
So today it's really exciting. So we're here sampling for the critically endangered stonefly Isogenus navecula, commonly known as scarce yellow Sally, and we're looking to sample for the species, and if we collect enough specimens, potentially then look at captive rearing the species. So as I say, it's critically endangered. It's only known from the UK on a small stretch of the Dee. So it's from here where we are at Bangor on Dee, and overall a 20-kilometre stretch, and nowhere else in the UK. And in Europe it's also increasingly rare as well, so it's a really, really rare and special species for us to have in Wales.
And what are Chester Zoo doing to help support this project?
So we're working with a freshwater entomologist who's going to be collecting the samples and doing an element of captive rearing, but we've also then brought Chester Zoo on board to be doing a similar exercise as a pilot project, and assuming that we get enough animals to sample, the pilot project goes well, then Chester Zoo will continue to be a partner on the project into the development phase. So all in all, everything goes well, this will be pretty much a 6-year project for species conservation, not just for scarce yellow Sally, but for a wide range of Wales's most rare and threatened species.
Job title?
Yeah. So I'm Joe Chattel, I'm Assistant Team Manager of the Aquarium at Chester Zoo.
And can you just tell us a little bit about what we did here today and the process of it?
Yeah, so we've been sampling for a couple of different stonefly species, so it involves using nets in the river, disturbing the riverbed, taking back our samples to see what we've got, and analysing it from there really.
And do you know what Chester Zoo's involvement is in this project and why we're interested?
Yeah, so we're supporting the project because we're trying to help an endangered species. Our involvement will be to try and get animals through to adulthood and then potentially look at re-release in the future. At the moment, the species we're looking at, Isogenus, they haven't been sort of reared through fully to adulthood and then bred in captivity, so we're just aiding John and seeing if we can have a go at that.
Yeah, and what would success look like in this project? Like, obviously we've come to see if there's any here, and then what are the sort of next steps, and what are we hoping maybe?
It would be to establish populations in our local areas and look at reintroduction. Really, that would be the end goal. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So they're really hard to find. Can you tell us a little bit about why that is?
So it's just from the sort of specific microhabitat they're found in. They prefer deeper, faster flowing water, so it makes collecting them quite difficult. And it's quite a sort of unique. You look at the river behind us, it's all fast flowing, but they do like the deeper little areas of it, so quite hard to find them.
Cool.
Looking at today, and how you went about finding them, what the process involved.
Yeah, so we're looking at two species here today. We're looking at the scarce yellow sally, which is Isogenus nubecula, which is a really rare stonefly. It's been lost from just about all the rivers in Western Europe now. It's a critically endangered species. That's really why we're here, to try and find that species. The second species that we're also working on is a related stonefly, Pylades mortoni. We're looking at that just so we can understand the ecology of the same family a bit better. And the aim ultimately is to try to do some captive rearing and then release more of these animals in other parts of the River Dee or similar rivers nearby. This animal is incredibly rare, so it's a very tenuous existence, being on one river in the whole of Western Europe. If there was a pollution incident, it could be gone, it would be gone forever.
Okay, and so can you just tell us about when you last saw them, and then the gap that you had, and then the fact that you found them now, and kind of why you think this habitat specifically as kind of
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting story. They were first discovered in the 50s, and then there were various surveys through the 80s. I got involved in the 1990s, and then they disappeared. They disappeared for 22 years. Everyone thought they were extinct in the UK. That was it, whole Western Europe gone. And then I basically I had some funded projects where I came back, we couldn't find them, and then I just basically off my own back just kept coming every now and again, and a few years ago we found them again after 22 years of nothing, and well, I think we could quite believe it. It was incredible. So we've done some follow-up surveys after that, and yeah, so it's amazing really.
cool. So what do you hope, how do you hope to see the project go forward, and kind of what are your hopes for the species? And I know you touched on that, so kind of breeding.
Yeah.
So elsewhere and going back into the wild to in the case of establishing populations elsewhere, sort of thing.
Yeah, we want to basically get them back from the brink of extinction, so we want to find some of them, we want to try and breed them. I don't think anybody's really bred an entire life cycle in captivity with these animals, so what we're doing today, we're catching large juveniles. They'll change into adults. The adults look a little bit like a moth, if you like, a stonefly, similar to a moth. I want to get them to mate in captivity, get some eggs, get them in the water, try and hatch some juveniles, and then see if we can get around that completely unknown area from small juveniles all the way around to the same time, early spring next year, and have captive reared nymphs and get another mating cycle going. So I've done some of this work with a number of UK stoneflies, and we're working here with the team from Chester Zoo. The idea is if I can kind of figure out what makes this animal tick, we can then transfer to Chester. They're a bit more geared up for more of a kind of larger scale operation, production, and we can get a kind of production line going for these animals, if you like, and along the way we can figure out about the habitat, the food preferences, what is it about this river here, the River Dee, is it the trees, is it something about the adults, why are they only here? and then we can look to other places, maybe historical sites in other places around the UK where they might have been, try and establish them somewhere else and just safeguard the population.
I think one last question is just, can you talk us through the process of collecting? So say, we have to get the waders on, and then we have to get into the water, and then like oxygen, water which is fast flowing, and whatever it is. I know you said it a bit down there, but just
so this is a large river. It's, as we've really reinforced today, they really seem to like to live in very deep, fast-flowing water. So at this site we're using chest waders. We're just about able to reach the habitat where they are hanging out. They're not in the shallow water at all. At the next site we're going to, we'll be in dry suits. We'll be up to a little bit deeper water, see if we can get some more from that kind of habitat. We're kick sampling, but we're absolutely pushing the limits of what people would normally consider for kick sampling. So we'll be in life jackets. We might be using ropes as well in this next site for health and safety, and as I say, just pushing the limits, trying to get more individuals. We'd like to get about 30 to attempt a captive rearing. We take fewer than that. It's you get problems with the males and the females emerging at different times, and they don't get anything to mate.
So how many did we get, and are you happy with the result?
I am very happy. We've got 17 of the rare one this morning in about an hour and a half's work. That's probably as many as we've ever had in one day. We've had quite a few people working. If we can manage the same again at the next site, we'll be there. So yeah.